Very good evening. It will take another 2 minutes to be online. Just a minute.
गुड इवनिंग मैम। डॉक्टर प्रीति मैम ने और डॉक्टर अर्चना बज मैम ने ज्वाइन कर लिया है। ओके ग्रेट। तो बाकी लोगों का वेट करके जैसे ही तो होते हैं स्टार्ट करिए आप लोग। विश यू ऑल द बेस्ट।
Thank you, sir. You'll be connected?
मैं कुछ टाइम तक ज्वाइन करूंगा मैम, जितनी देर फोन में बैटरी है, क्योंकि अभी इतना नहीं है आज कि मैं पूरा अटेंड कर पाऊँ।
Sir, very good evening.
गुड इवनिंग मैम। गुड इवनिंग अर्चना मैम।
Good evening. Yeah.
Good evening, Archana ma'am. Hello.
Very good evening, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, ma'am.
And very good evening to all the guests who have joined till now.
So we have how many panelists today, ma'am?
I think there are 6 panelists, ma'am.
Okay. So Brijesh sir is there in for the favor, right? Brijesh sir, Neeraj sir, and ma'am, do you have a list of all the panelists?
I have the list of all the panelists, and let me check who's in favor and who's against.
Dr. Sriranjani Moksha Gundam have joined ma'am.
Welcome, ma'am.
Shall we start? All the panelists are there.
Ma'am, I believe you can wait for just 2 more minutes, 2-3 more minutes.
Mr. Neeraj has joined. Poonam Gothi ma'am is also there. Kirat Kumar sir is also there, ma'am. So now we have 4 panelists. So we can start. और प्रीति मैम और अर्चना मैम, आज हम फेवर और अनफेवर की बात नहीं करेंगे. आज सेम टॉपिक पे ही जिन पैनलिस्ट का हमारा जैसा रहेगा अपना व्यूज उस पर रख सकते हैं.
So welcome
Over
all
to
the
you.
panelists. Yes, sir. So good evening, all of you, and we welcome you on the platform of PAAI Ki Sansad. I'm Dr. Archana Baj, and me and my co-partner Preeti ma'am, we both are here. So we are just taking this forward in a very interesting way. So let's start with. So as Harshvardhan sir said, ki today we are not discussing in favor or against. Today we are just looking for the outcome of this debate. What kind of education system we are looking for, and why this education system is in India is lacking behind. What are the causes? What are the issues for it? So, in the words of Malcolm, education is the passport to future. Everyone knows it. For tomorrow's belongs to those who prepare it for today. I think everyone agree with me. So education is certainly not only base for great future, but for a strong nation, right? So hence today's topic, my dear educators, you all know that today's topic is education in India. Are the students failing or the system, right? So we are discussing on this topic, and I think it's a very important topic as far as the today's scenario is concerned. It becomes more relevant as the recent report of annual status of educational report conducted by central government recently reveals that Indian schools witnessed high dropout rates and declining enrollment rates, which I have just studied recently, even before COVID pandemic. It confirms that learning learning outcomes for children in India is continuously decline. There is a marked increase from 1.8% in 2018 to 5.3% in 2020 of rural children aged between 6 to 10 who have not enrolled in schools. And it is a cause of a big worry for all of us, isn't it? So I think we need to discuss in depth today that education in India is failing due to its system or due to the students, right? So to discuss this, we have here a bunch of very, very learned educators. So Preeti ma'am, could you just introduce our panelists today?
Sure, ma'am. So I think we will start with the introduction of our first panelist. And the panelist whom we want to welcome for the first go is Neeraj Kumar, sir. So I believe that you are there with us. So we welcome you at the PAAI Sansad, and Neeraj Kumar, sir, is the principal of Aryan Global Public School, Panipat, Haryana. He has more than 12 years of experience in teaching and about 4 years of experience as a principal in CBSE school. So he's pursuing his PhD from Chaudhry Charan Singh University, Meerut, Uttar Pradesh, and it is in English literature. He has more than 10 years of experience as a translator at Dainik Bhaskar Group in Panipat. So in the evening hours, he has been doing that. It was his dream to be a good principal for a reputed school, and he's right away into the profession of his dreams. And I believe that he has written around 2,000 poetries on various issues and topics of the society. So it's a wonderful thing to have you here on on our PAAI Sansad. We request you to start with the the discussion by sharing your own viewpoint upon the topic, whether the students are failing or the system. So please. Kindly unmute yourself and make a start, sir. Are you
Prithavi,
not able
Mr.
to
Neeraj Kumar,
unmute?
Mr. Neeraj Kumar is there.
Yes, he's here, sir. I can see him. But I think Neeraj sir is not able to unmute himself. Sir,
Neeraj sir, your voice is, we cannot hear your voice. Please unmute yourself.
I think sir is not able to unmute himself. So, may I have the privilege of introducing Dr. S. Ranjani Mokshigundam, ma'am? Ma'am, are you there with us?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
So, she's a great granddaughter of the statesman Bharat Ratna, Sri Mokshigundam Vishweshwarya. She's working towards the advancement of the society, impacting the quality and standard of living directly by imparting knowledge. She's a faculty of management with over 8 years of experience in teaching and research. She has completed 4 levels of German language course and many other professional certifications. She has rendered her services as principal, professor, research supervisor, and has associations memberships with national and international professional bodies. Ma'am has been recognized through significant number of awards and honors. She's acted as chairperson, a keynote speaker, resource person, and panelist in various events. Ma'am has convened, attended various national and international academic programs, and is also presented and published noticeable number of articles, textbooks, chapters, and various number of things. It's a long list, ma'am. We are privileged to have you with us. May I request you to switch on your video and unmute yourself and give us your viewpoint on the topic, whether the students are failing or the system. Ma'am, please. Shri Ranjani, ma'am.
Welcome you, ma'am. Please unmute yourself.
Are you able to hear to me, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. We are able to see your presentation, but not you. If possible, kindly and show us. I mean, and just switch on your video also, and then we can start with the presentation.
Yes, ma'am. Right, ma'am? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Please.
Is my screen changing, ma'am? Are you able to view my screen?
Yes, we are able to hear you, ma'am. Please
Right,
start.
ma'am. Okay. So yes, very good evening to one and all present here. So today's topic is education in India. Are the students failing or the system? Right. So I want to say that our education system in India is failing. First, let me start with the significance of education. Yes, as we all know, education is both the act of teaching knowledge to others as well as the act of receiving knowledge from someone else. And we all know about that. So, education means it is the key to a bright as well as to a successful future of each and every one of us. And giving education to
Hello.
a child, it is one of the most essential decisions as a parents one can make. And basically, when we speak about this education, see, it is designed to guide the individuals. Say it could be learning a culture or even molding their behavior, uh, wherein we are taking the path of in the way of maturing them as well as directing them towards, say, to take up an eventual role in the society. Okay. Then we want to speak something about the facts of Indian education system, right? So children basically in India, they have unique chance to receive a world-class education. So that's what we have in India. And we can thank to many excellent schools that are available today all over India. So since ancient times, when we speak, India, it has been known for its great educational system, and we all know about that. So very popular and diversified amongst other countries' education system is what we can say or we can call about India. And when we speak about the during the ancient as well as the medieval periods of education, students actually they were trained by the teachers in such a manner that they could survive and also they could live in that particular era. So what happened was students they lived away from their parents, their education, and it comprised of subjects something like, say, it could be the physical education, mental education, whether give it like politics, economics, all these things were covered, and they were shaped in a way that they can live in any condition or say in any given situation. So then what happened in the medieval education era? It followed the same protocol as like say ancient period. So, mainly then what happened in the medieval period was the focus was mainly on say some religious aspects exclusively. So post independence, if we have to speak, there is a marvelous growth in Indian education system, and it is providing teaching, training in all aspects. So, but it does not satisfy the global demands of the market today when we speak about it. Yet we have science and technology as the important role in the economic development of our nation. So what is happening in when we speak about the today's modern era, when we take into consideration the big institutes, so everything has changed, right? It could be say our living standards, it could be the living standards of students, our curriculum, all round development, everything has changed from the past when we consider the ancient or the medieval period of education. So the principal objective of every student has changed. So what is it? It has been to just achieve the goal, and we have to be successful in today's era. That is what is our objectives and the main objective of the education system that is prevailing today. Our Indian government, it provides free education to all the children, and we all know about it between the ages of 6 to 14 years. And India, surprisingly, it is it is one amongst the 135 countries in the world to make education as a fundamental right of each and every student, each and every child, and we all must be proud of this fact. In fact, so while speaking about higher education, also the report says as of 2020, India has more than 1,000 universities. So with 54 central universities is what we have. 416 state universities, 125 deemed universities, as well as 361 private universities with 159 universities of national importance. It could be including IIMs, IITs, etc. NITs, all are inclusive in that. right? And as I was telling something about the ancient period, see, the state government and the people, they did not interfere in designing, say, it could be the curriculum, or it could be about the payment of fees, regulation of teaching hours, anything. The government did not have any kind of involvement. And there was a strong bonding, say, between the teacher as well as the students. So students, they used to meet the teachers regularly, personally, to learn and to gain instructions from them. And even when we consider the royal families or the kings of states, they all used to donate something from their wealth so as to improve the education system prevailing on that day, as well as to improve its value. And when we even consider the early Vedic period, even the women's education was also given very much importance, right? There were no books. So students used to memorize everything, each and everything. And the fundamental goal when we take during that period, it was to build a good curriculum, to develop the students physically, mentally. So they had yoga, they had meditation, they taught medicines, whatnot, algebra, geometry, everything, archery, grammar, warfare, politics, everything was there, all inclusive, right? It was a holistic education. So everything, religion, politics, everything was given importance. So even the education was only through orals and debates, right? As no books, nothing, chalks were not there. Listening, observation, or even you can say storytelling were the methods of, say, the explorative way of how the students learned. And the education mainly during those times, it focused on practical knowledge. Today we are lacking that. Any topics that were taught in the class, there was practical knowledge. So the students were not just involved in bringing the ranks, but their focus was totally on knowledge gaining. And classrooms were they were built in forests, which provided a like pleasant study environment also to the students. And there was no pressure, mainly what we see today, what we witness today on the students, it was not there anything related to studies. So that what was happening, the students, they could learn effectively. But today we are missing that in our system. And even when we speak about the medieval education also, the ancient education system, it actually drastically changed during the medieval period. I agree with that. The Arabs who were there, the Turks who were there, they try to bring in some kind of new cultures, traditions, and altogether so many institutions were there in India. There were orals, discussions, recitations of the lessons. So more focus was there on reading, writing, everything we witnessed in those periods. And education system, it was mainly, we think today's system education system is systematic, but no, even in those days the education system was very systematic, and the emphasis was still on practical education even during the medieval period. And there were no, surprisingly, there were no half yearly or annual examination which was fixed for students, but the students, they were evaluated based on their practical situations of their lives. And when we speak about the modern education today, what is happening, especially after pandemic, we all know that students, learners, scholars, we all are learning concepts through online platforms, whether it could be YouTube, it could be Coursera, Udemy, anything. Pupils, they are assessed based on the mid-sem written exams, right? We all have semester exams, and we have practical exams to check whether a student has gained something or not. So whatever they have learned, it could be self-paced, self-directed, any kind of learning. And only, unfortunately, to state that our top class universities and colleges only have the good infrastructure as well as good environment to learn, right? So when we have to speak something about shortcomings in Indian education system, what is it? We witness the interference of government in education, management, as well as in syllabus. There is deficiency of quality teaching, as well as even the environment in government schools as well as in colleges. We witness the increase in fees of schools and colleges, mainly the private institutions. There is no practical knowledge orientation. The This is what we are lacking in. And due to the increase in fees, what is happening? The below poverty line people, they are not able to afford education. And hence, we see that there is increase in the number of, say, laborers in India. Children, they are not able to afford. Their parents, they are not able to afford education. And we see that there is lack of connectivity of the students who live in rural parts. And automatically, students, they are disconnected, as well as they are disinterested because of this kind of failing system. Right? Yeah. So to conclude, what I would like to say is, especially when we speak about the modern era education, whether it could be industries or technology, they are increasing day by day, and we all know about that. So culturally relevant and say inclusive elements, they are not found in our mainstream education. What is happening? Education system in India, it's still we are carrying a, say, some kind of colonial baggage which is shouldered by us since decades. Do you think there is a difference between an educated and as well as a talented individual? Are we seeing that difference? See, what is happening is the marking trend, the grading trend, it is overshadowing the interest of a student. So making him or her incompetent. Basically, in the real corporate world, we are making them incompetent. So our current education system, it is not at all upgraded to the ever increasing demand for industrial sectors, is what I want to say. Whether it could be in schools, colleges, or universities, students are just learning to compete with each other. What is it they are learning? No practical knowledge is gained. Unlike our what I spoke about the previous education Indian education system, there are a lot of academic pressures in the name of projects, ECA, extracurricular activities, sports, crafts, anything. Today we are witnessing a bad student-teacher relationship. They do not know how to respect us as teachers. So due to all this, students, they are getting depressed. They have health issues. They are committing suicides, unfortunately. And I would like to say that parents are also equally responsible for this sorry situation of the kids. So education should be holistic process. It must focus on overall development of the, say, it could be physical, emotional, social, or the even the cognitive skills of a child. And this process, this development process, it has to be a slow as well as a cyclic process, and it must take place gradually, and it must also help a child to develop into, say, you can call it as self-directed or independent or as a knowledgeable individual. And our education system especially is lacking in this. And with this implementation, say, what is happening, an educated individual, he or she will be able to contribute something towards the betterment of our economy, also to the social development of the society within our country. And the perfect goal of education, it must, what I would like to say is, it must exceed the awarding the degrees or certificates to the students. It should not be education should not be treated like a tool to earn livelihood, but it is the way to liberate the mind as well as the soul of an individual, right? See, if a student, he or she scores 90% marks, say for example in his or her board exams, the college or university to which they are seeking admission, they would have raised their cutoff marks, and it could be something like an impartial score. Is that not enough if a child scores 90% of marks? What is happening? This kind of activities from our education system, it is narrowing down the entry door limit. Again, this intelligent student, he comes under the mediocre bracket. Is this what we are doing? Are we justifying that student who has scored 90% marks, 80% marks? And more than 70% of the course structure that we have in the education system, it just focuses on preparing the students only to perform to their best in the examination. And it is not at all paying any attention to the teaching process. Only the exams important? Is it not gaining of knowledge, or how is it our students are learning? Is that not important? And in this attempt, what is happening? We see that some smart students who are not, say, like good performers in the tests or exams, they are often left behind and they are challenged in their career paths. So, education is meant to reform the human behavior, and this appears to have failed to achieve the goal, rather leaving the students more confused in their say directed path. Today, when we even speak about, I'll just finish in 1 or 2 minutes, ma'am. So, how many MBA colleges they are following the skill-centric pattern in their academic syllabus? Can we name them? It's just the syllabus what we follow. And in this process, it is ultimately the students who are the sufferers. It could be the lack of skilled, employable students, which is leading to the ineffective growth, whether it could be in the industry or say there is increasing rate of unemployment or redundancy in our country. This is what is happening. Jobs are then filled by semi-skilled people, obviously, who do not contribute anything to the industry. Whatever is required, they'll not do. And how can we expect there is a positive growth in our economy, right? So, what should be the roadmap ahead? And it is very vital for the educational institution so that they can instill the passion, right, of learning as well as practicing knowledge in students. A balanced course structure, including theoretical, practical, or say industrial training, is to be adopted for the complete course, right? And it is important for any universities or colleges so that they can train the students for the something like the final deliverance in their respective fields, whether it could be chemistry, biology, MB, management, anything. So that what is happening, the corporate houses they can save a lot on their training costs, right? And they can also strengthen the competitive standards. So allow the students to choose their method of learning as per their skills as per their capacity. And skill based education as well as quality education is what we need, and it is the need for the hour, especially in our country, to witness the progress.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.
We are just having a short time for each and every panelist. So we know each and everything which you are just trying to give us. So I am very thankful to you, ma'am, for expressing your views. I agree that education is not uh, preparation for life. Education is life itself. I do agree with your point, ma'am. It's a development of overall personality, not just learning of facts, as it used to be in ancient era. But today, it's not so. To understand more, let me invite another panelist
Sure.
because we have short time, ma'am. So we'll just take further question and answers round after the next panelist. Preeti, ma'am, are you here? Preeti Chitkara, ma'am, are you here? Okay, she's not here. So let me just invite our next panelist, Mr. Brajesh Kumar Pathak. Sir, are you there in the meeting? Brajesh, sir? Okay, I think he's not here. Neeraj, sir, are you okay with your...
Ma'am, sir
Yes.
has joined.
Okay, right.
We have
So-
introduced Neeraj sir, so I would request Neeraj sir to take up the opportunity. So please take it up forward.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. It is really wonderful to speak before scholars on this platform. And thank you, complete team. Ma'am, the topic is, I think, really important. Our students are spoiling or students are failing our system. And ma'am, I think it is very difficult to decide that what is happening. Ma'am, two, three, I think 4, 5 examples are there. I would like to give you that what is happening here. Ma'am, I think, first of all, I would like to tell you that 20,000 cases are there against teachers in Delhi in Human Rights Commission. And parents says that teachers has pulled the ear of my ward and he's having pain. And now there was happening in the in one KVS in Delhi. The principal of that particular school found an objectionable thing or item in the bag of a girl, and he was really surprised. He decided to investigate the girl, and the girl replied, "Sir, first check the bags of each and every girl from 9 to 12th class, and only then you investigate me." And the principal was really surprised that the same thing was found in the bags of 70% girls. So it was really a big thing for the school. And one of my friend from Bhopal, he phoned me and he asked me that what kind of abusing can be used in a class in seventh class in any school. So I told him that it is very difficult to say, it is very difficult to explain what kind of abusing. So he told me, I'm really feeling pain that my child told me this kind of abusing are used in his school. And in Panipat district, ma'am, there is a place Samalkha. There now the teacher from a school they went to the SP of district and said that we are threatened by these students and we want security as well as safety from the students and please help us. So this kind of happenings are there in our society. And if I talk about here, I have attended so many seminars, so many functions related to the education. Last time in Chandigarh, everyone was speaking about the teachers. Teachers should do this, teachers should do that, teacher must prepare this, teacher must prepare that. Everything was about teacher. And here I just want to ask all the principal, is it possible to maintain any teacher in any school who is not following the rules of school or who is not doing well? I think it is not possible to have that kind of teacher in any school. But when you speak against the teacher or in the negative of teacher, I think you will be the best speaker. There was a one person in Chandigarh last week, and he was speaking against the teacher. Teacher are not doing this, teacher are not doing that. They just go to the class and not teaching well. They don't understand their responsibilities. And after the seminar, I asked the same person, sir, are you having any teacher in your school who is not following the rules, who is not obeying you? You are the principal. Said, no, no. He said, I'm not ready to have that kind of teacher in my school. So I asked, then why did you speak like that? Just to make a reputation among people. So I think the scenario is completely changed in 21st century, and we have to think about it deeply. Now the parents in Haryana are giving the bullet bike. They are giving everything. They are giving 1,000 rupees to his son to spend. So the student in DPS schools, they are coming in 50 lakh, 15 lakh car, and the teacher on bike. And there is a pressure, there is a mentally pressure on the teacher. Then what can be done in that situation? And so many examples are there against teacher. So I just want to say that only teachers can't be blamed in this regard. And second thing is that I think the responsibility on not only on teachers, it is the responsibility of management, it is the responsibility of parents, and it is the responsibility of principal as well as every member of the school to maintain the discipline and to make an atmosphere that is really suitable for students. No doubt, good is there and bad is there. So I think we have to choose a right direction for the students. And the main role, I think, if I talk about Haryana, much more now depends on parents. If we slap any student, the parents came, how dare you to slap my child? And he is speaking before the students. I think the atmosphere will not be good in that situation. So we have to think about it deeply. So every student is important. And here if I talk about the new education policy or national education policy, I think this is criteria for every school in India. But if we enter in any government school in any state, I think the scene is completely different. If we look at their, if we have an observation of their washroom, I think nobody will be able to provide the admission to their children in the government school. So this I think everyone have to think, have to take some decisions in this regard. So, ma'am, I just, in the end, I just want to say that the situation is completely different, and we are talking about technology, we are talking about science, we are talking about online study, we are talking about online boards or technology boards, but I think these things are not sufficient. In last lecture, I think the last talk of Harshvardhan sir was study with sanskar or sanskar with study. I think this was the wonderful line of that seminar of the last Sansad, and I thought about it. Sir was really good. Now sanskar, uh, sanskar is nowhere in this school. If I talk about 9 to 12th class, last week we were in a water park and some students were doing some mischievous things, or they were not doing something good, and I asked the principal of the school principal, sir, your students are not doing good, they are mischievous, so you must go to them and ask them, say them something. And he said, sir, I can't do anything, and I'm completely helpless because I'm not in school. So ma'am, this is the situation. And now, I think the more important part in this situation will be of parents. If parents are helping us, if parents are with us, then we can handle the situation. And otherwise, we will be talking about like this. We will be talking about education. We will be talking about this, and that. But the result will not be good. So I think I'm along with the principal and also parents, and I think I can slap my child if he or she is wrong. So every parent should understand his her responsibility, that they must go with the teachers and they must understand the responsibility. They must understand the feelings of teachers as well as principal, that the teaching has become the most toughest and most challenging job in this life. One person, one school, or one principal can't do anything without the help of parents. So now it has become a campaign to give the right direction to the students. So it was my topic for today, and thank you so much,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Neeraj sir. And you are right somewhere. We are not giving the conclusion right now. I think I just remember a few lines by Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. And I think these lines are apt for today's scenario. And thank you so much, sir, for expressing your views. I think you have cleared it very well, that suffocating education system suffocates growth. So growth in every sense. If we are talking about the growth of the teachers, the students, or the nation, or the world.
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. Ma'am, there is a group, Trinity group in Delhi, in Wazirabad, and this is the group of 30 teachers. And uh, they made an observation, or they started a campaign. They went to many schools and they asked the teachers who were teaching +1 and +2 class and asked their experience. And 9 teachers out of 10 said that when we enter in the classroom, means 12th classroom, 12th class students classroom, and they feel hesitated, they feel agitation. Means it has become situation. There is a principal, my known principal in Delhi, and he says to his teachers, just go in the class, spend 40 minutes and nothing else. You have to spend 40 minutes and nothing else. Ma'am, it has become the situation. Whatever we are talking about now, education, but I think it has become a big challenge before us.
I do understand, sir.
Sir, I want to add on to your words. That's the cruel reality these days. That's what the reason is, perhaps, that PAAI Association has taken a strong step against all this, and they say, like, we always believe that we should be giving good positions and bringing forward the teachers who are teachers by passion, not by force. जिनको शौक है पढ़ाने का, उसको क्या आप रोक सकेंगे कि वो 40 घंटे जाकर खड़ा हो जाए? सर 40
No,
मिनट
no,
जाके
no.
खड़ा हो जाए, रोक ही नहीं सकते, क्योंकि हमारा जो फ्लो है as a teacher, when we connect with students, the ones who bond with students, the ones who feel that connectivity and the kind of bond we express ourselves, we form that rapport. We cannot do this. This isn't possible at all.
I do
There-
Ma'am,
agree.
it is not
Yes,
possible
ma'am.
at all. But suppose that, ma'am, we are principal, and ma'am, I have more than 1,400 students in my school. And in the morning, some parents came to my office and he said, "आपकी हिम्मत कैसे हुई मेरे बेटे को ऐसे बोलने की?" तो मैम क्या होता है कि after that I will be something aware, and I will not try to speak like this to any student. And if I'm slapping to anyone, then I will think again and again about it. तो एक बच्चे ने, एक पेरेंट्स ने मेरे को
It's
ऐसा बोला
both
है, लेकिन
ways.
फिर
I would here say that it is both ways. I mean, if teachers are really, competent ones, the parents and the others probably will be able to give the respect. But sometimes it is the opposite. Teachers are also competent, still they are not giving. And there is the opposite thing also. Sometimes the parents are giving a lot of respect, but teachers are not that competent. They are not
Yes.
into their own selves. So टीचिंग प्रोफेशन को का नाम भी कहीं ना कहीं कुछ लोग स्पॉइल कर रहे हैं, जो कि इतना सुंदर प्रोफेशन है. आई थिंक फॉर अस तो वी हैव लॉट ऑफ सल्यूट्स एंड लॉट ऑफ
सुंदर से ज्यादा मैम बहुत रेस्पेक्टेबल प्रोफेशन है. मतलब गुरु देवो भव, मतलब अगर हम देखा जाए तो इसमें सबसे आगे गुरु का नाम आता है. और जहां तक मैं पाई एसोसिएशन का, जैसे अभी प्रीति मैम ने बताया कि वी ऑल आर वर्किंग ऑन दिस दीज लाइंस, एंड परफॉर्मेंस और पैशन की जहां पर बात आई कि हम पैशन की जहां बात कर रहे हैं कि हम अगर टीचर्स की बात करें तो पैशनेट हैं अपने काम को लेके. और बोला भी गया है कि परफॉर्मेंस ऑलवेज कम्स फ्रॉम पैशन, नॉट फ्रॉम प्रेशर. अगर प्रेशर से उनको भेज रहे हैं कि 40 मिनट का पीरियड आपको अटेंड करना है, यू हैव टू बी स्टैंड ओवर देयर एंड जस्ट स्पेंड 40 आवर्स ओवर देयर, सो वो परफॉर्मेंस सर आएगी नहीं, वो मजा आएगा ही नहीं. वो जो स्टूडेंट्स के साथ वो एक इंटरेक्टिव सेशन होता है, जो स्टूडेंट्स के साथ एक लिंक हो जाता है क्लास में, वो मजा नहीं आएगा. सो पाई एसोसिएशन इसी काम के लिए वर्क कर रही है और हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि टीचर्स के अंदर वो जील, वो एक जज्बा आ जाए उनकी ट्रेनिंग के थ्रू. और मेनी ऑफ द थिंग्स वी आर डूइंग साइमल्टेनियसली for upgrading the system, education system. So I think Preeti ma'am, you are absolutely right कि हम लोग जो जिस तरीके से हम लोग आगे बढ़े हैं, तो जैसे मैम ने भी बताया था कि हम एंशियंट जो हमारा सिस्टम था, एजुकेशन सिस्टम, वो हमारा बेटर था आज के सिस्टम से. बट मुझे लगता है कि हम लोग जिस डायरेक्शन में मूव कर रहे हैं, हम दोनों की क्वालिटीज को, कुछ क्वालिटीज उसकी और कुछ क्वालिटीज इसकी लेके उसमें एक बहुत ब्यूटीफुल सा सिस्टम डेवलप कर पाएंगे. तो थैंक यू सो मच नीरज सर, आपने बहुत अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन किया. एंड आई एग्री दैट देयर हैज बीन I think it's said to said that ki more decline in respect of for teachers by students, and it's a hard reality, but it's both the way. Preeti ma'am said it's both the way. So if you are connected with your students, it's being very very beautiful relations between student and teacher. So when it comes to कि वो जो हम पुराने जमाने में बात करते थे, वो जो एक प्यार भरा रिलेशन होता था, वो एक टीचर्स और स्टूडेंट में जरूरी होता है कुछ भी आगे करने के लिए. तो मेरे ख्याल से दोनों तरफ से ही आगे पहल होगी तो हम इस सिस्टम को और अच्छा बना पाएंगे. So over to you, Preeti ma'am. We just invite our next panelist. So yeah.
I think I can see one sir amongst us who's very enthusiastically listening to all of us. So Dr. Kirit Kumar Bhatt sir, I welcome you on this platform of PAAI. And let me take the opportunity to introduce yourself. It's like
Thank you,
sir
ma'am.
is currently working as professor and principal at NSIT Jaitalpur, Ahmedabad, Gujarat. So he did his BE, ME, and the PhD from the MS University of Baroda with a specialization in electronics engineering. His area of research is embedded systems, VLSI design, and especially low power design. So you are, making me connect with my own institution. I hope you are aware that I am a professional. I'm head of public relations and international relations, along with the being a professor for engineering institution. So that is something which is very
Thank
close
you.
to us. He has a total
My pleasure.
experience of 25 years as an academician and has worked in various capacities. Sir has guided 6 research scholars and published more than 60 technical papers in national and international journals and conferences. He has received a number of awards and probably a plethora of recognitions from across the globe by various organizations and institutions. Is associated with, again, a lot of agencies and organizations and universities as a resource person. Sir, we would love to hear from you your viewpoint on this very important.
Thank you very much. Thank you to you and the foundation who given me a chance to and speak a few words about this thing. Uh, when we talk about I was patiently listening Neeraj sir, but to the possible extent, to some extent, I am agree with him, but not at all, because the education system itself developed the culture. So we have to look back into the education system, what kind of system we have developed. I believe that no education system is good or bad, but some education system or some modality may be based in its own way, but whether it has some context in the present scenario or present living or present time, present technology or not, that makes a difference. I believe that the Asian countries, especially India, is full of population, and we have the very huge mass of youth, which has a average age of 30 to 32 years, and we have probably we it's a responsibility of India also to provide the manpower, or we can say workforce, to the world, and especially to the uh, developed economies also. But first of all, we must understand that we have a very huge mass of use, that is fact. Another side, whatever graduates we are producing every year, m- less than 20% are able to employable. So that reflects, that force us to think about our education system, where something is lacking in the framework, which because of which we could not able to produce the graduates which are employable. So there is a complete gap between academics and industries. I believe that uh, skill development is only a tool now onwards that will be able to take care of the nation for the economic growth as well as the security of the nation also. I believe that, let us take some example that uh, Yahoo, one of the great example is Yahoo, Ford, Fiat, and Kodak camera. These people were once upon a time, it's a big brands across the globe, but nowadays probably there is no existence, or there are many competitors who can challenge those people. The reason being that they are not introducing the uh, timely innovations as well as the creativity in their product. So similarly, it may be a smaller system. We can take in terms of the education system in a broader way, that time to time, as per the requirement base, if we don't bring changes in the education system, it doesn't produce the fruitful result. And again, we will be discussing like this, what is happening, students are doing this and that. Earlier, skill development responsibility is on the shoulder of the colleges as well as the universities only, कि जब बच्चा उसमें जाएगा, ग्रेजुएशन करेगा, तब जाके कुछ सीख के. But I believe that skill development is not an event, it's a process. Something like marriage is an event, it can be finished within 3-4 days, but married life is a process. It can be up to 30, 50, 70, 200 years, whatever. So it takes time to develop the skill. I have seen in my life, there are some even engineering graduates who are not able to write a proper application. Then immediately I ask him, what is the name of your school? There are some people who are not able to prepare their CV properly. They are not able to reply properly in English language. Even though he might be good in engineering, how he can represent himself? So from the school level also, there should be some mechanism which develop the school students in a different way. There should be there should be ingredient of creative thinking. innovativeness in the among the students. Their communication should be taken care right from the schooling. So by the time they become young and they are become employable, they are completely become a global citizen. Because see, we have a biggest issue. Being a principal of engineering college, I have faced many times. After being engineer, person cannot be a Gujarati, Marathi, Indian, or Philippines or Sri Lankan. He become a global citizen, global person, global employee, because he has to deal with any of the company, maybe from Germany, maybe from Italy, maybe from USA. So his verbal, oral, and written and that communication has to be very effective. Otherwise, he will not stand. This is one scenario. What the changes at the education system is demand for. Another thing, let us take an example of India. We have two things. One is opportunity, another is a responsibility. Because we have huge mass of youth, and we can able to be uh, hub of the workforce which can be supplied to the world. But we have to ask ourselves, do we have youth of that capacity? If answer is no, then we must first develop the youth. If we need to develop the youth, do we have that infrastructure to have the skills, to develop the skills among the youth? Do we have those tutors, faculty members, teachers? So these are whole ecosystem has to work very integratedly. uh, I really understand that we have great teachers also, but there are some lacking also. Rightly, Preeti Madam has pointed that it is two-way. Some teachers are just spending time, but some are really honored very highly, that we have seen in our life. So, our curricula, I'm talking about higher education. University just whatever the syllabus defined, that is just dumping to the institutions. But there shall be involvement of industry experts. Because see, a person has industry in Gujarat, an absolute person who is suitable as employee to this industry, who is sitting in Tamil Nadu, how he can come to know, how Gujarati come to know this fellow is required for my company, and that fellow never come to know he is best suited to the this company. So there should be common mechanism which share the, I mean, sector specific as well as the skill specific information should be shared among the various stakeholders, maybe in job takers, job givers, and job seekers, maybe among the consultant companies and recruiting agencies and all that. Another thing is, syllabus shall be changeable, because sometimes we are forced that this should be syllabus. This is your syllabus, you cannot make the change. Demand should come from industry. They should ask us what kind of manpower they are looking for, and that manpower should be groomed from here. I believe that uh, only government cannot provide such kind of infrastructure. So public private partnership is the best tool for that, best solution. I also believe that usually in the discussion, we few week back we had a discussion with the futuristic projections, how country can remain safe. So I was also called for discussion. So is there anyone who is believing that if we have nuclear weapons we are safe? We are absolutely from the engineering viewpoint, we are not agree. A person who is sitting in the corner of the room, if he hack the complete banking system of a nation, or electricity system, supply chain, or fuel supply chain, whatever, that country will be completely destroyed. So this we have to we cannot focus on the military or defense related solutions. We have to focus on today's threats, technological threats also. If if we are depending on technologically depending on some nation, and at the wartime if he is not supplying the parts of this military equipments, we will fail to save our country. Meaning is to say we have to develop our own skill. We have to instill creativity and innovations within our own citizens. And we also believe that only those country and economy are safe uh, whose citizens are innovative and creative, and they should be able to meet the global challenges and should be able to provide uh, solutions to these challenges from within the available limited resources, and its solution should comes within time bound. Otherwise economy as well as the nation will not uh, for any nation it will not be safe or secure. And for that we have to train our students, we have to train our mind. See, students are the students coming to the school or the education system to learn something. So we are the people who has to format that mind. They are coming with the blank mindset. So we have to take responsibility some way somehow. We may have good student, bad student, whatever it is, but this is the need of the time. Skill development is very essential among the students, and that care shall be taken care from the school level itself. I have seen those students also who are working fantastically. They are earning fantastically, but they don't know what to do, what they are earning with. They are not saving money for their for securing their future. They don't know how to secure the future. They don't have any plans, nothing. So they are spending like anything, and at the end of the day they are getting frustrated when the some expenses come, maybe on medical ground or so. So this is also kind of illiteracy, financial illiteracy. So these kind of things we have to taken care of. These are my views about the education system. This is not only a theoretical things that we teach them and the job is finished. It's not, this will not work now onwards. You may teach them a lot of theory how to swim, but without swimming it doesn't come. So one cannot understand the fact of it. As well as everything has to have hands-on experience. One must pass through that process, otherwise he or she never understand what is going on. And ऐसे आधे अधूरे दिमाग वाले हम आगे भेजते हैं, फिर वो इतना प्रॉब्लम जनरेट करते हैं दैट वी हैव सीन. सो कहीं कहीं हम लोग भी थोड़े जिम्मेदार तो हैं, ऐसा मैं पर्सनली मानता हूँ. सॉरी ऑल आर द एजुकेटर्स, बट वी हैव टू टेक द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑल्सो. So these with these words I conclude my thoughts, madam, here. Thank you,
Thank you
thank you
so much, sir.
everyone.
Thank you so much, sir. And it's been very wonderful listening you, sir. And I
Thank you.
think, sir, Darwin's theory clearly suggests that if you don't evolve timely, you become extinct. I think it's
Exactly.
right. So
Yeah, ma'am.
you are rightly said, sir, that education system also needs evolution, and syllabus should be as per today's need, and it
Need.
should fulfill the need of the today's industry as well as the job market too.
Absolutely, ma'am.
Yeah. So सर यहाँ पर इंदिरा नूई जो हमारी एक फेमस
हाँ,
इंडस्ट्रियल
CEO, CEO.
वो पेप्सी रही है, सीईओ उसमें रही है. उन्होंने लिखा था सर एक बार, every morning we got up with we wake up with a healthy fear that the world is changing, and to be there in this competitive world we have to chase faster than it.
Madam, being engineer, what
Yes.
syllabus I have studied before 25 years, now those things are completely not exist in this world. If I
Exactly.
continue with those things, how I can survive, how I can withstand with the competitive market? I have
Yes.
to continually update myself. I have to see what is coming, newer things in the market. Similarly, education system has to take care of those parts कि अभी हमारे बच्चे को कैसे तैयार करना है। अदरवाइज हम ऐसे ही थोड़ी स्टोरियां पढ़ा के तो दैट विल नॉट। आई थिंक सो मैम, आई थिंक सो।
सर आई डू एग्री विद सर कि ये जो अभी सिस्टम चल रहा है इसको
हाँ।
टाइमली हमें चेंज करना पड़ेगा।
अभी
So that-
एनईपी की बात कर रहे हैं, लेकिन उसका रिजल्ट काफी देर के बाद मिलेगा मैडम। वो हम इतने साल सोए रहे, इसकी वजह से आज ये बैकलॉग हो गया।
सर उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करने में भी अभी एनईपी को तो टाइम लगेगा सर।
Exactly.
क्योंकि आपको पता है सर, कोई भी चेंज जो होता है वो इजीली एक्सेप्टेबल नहीं होता है,
वो
बहुत
हमारी
इजीली नहीं
कंट्री
होता है।
हमारी कंट्री का वो भी प्रॉब्लम है। टीचर लेवल पे, फैकल्टी लेवल पे भी वही, दे आर नॉट रेडी टू एक्सेप्ट, कोई
Yes.
रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेने के लिए तैयार नहीं है। और
बिल्कुल
देश का काम है इसलिए करे, ऐसा भी पीपल आर नॉट थिंकिंग लाइक दैट। बट एनीवे,
कॉम्पिटिशन में आने के लिए तो सर हमें चेंज करते रहना पड़ेगा।
एशियन
और
कंट्री को तो अभी मैडम कुछ करना ही पड़ेगा, अदरवाइज पीसफुल लिविंग इज, डोंट एक्सपेक्ट पीसफुल लिविंग, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट इतना हो जाएगा। एनीवे,
बिल्कुल सर, राइट
थैंक
सर।
यू,
Thank you so much sir for your wonderful views.
थैंक यू
Preeti
मैम।
ma'am, are you here? So we'll just call upon the next panelist, Preeti Chitkara ma'am. Over to you ma'am. I think she is not here. Okay. Is Preeti ma'am is here? Because all the panelist description is there with her. So I call upon Gaurav Patni sir. Gaurav Patni sir, are you here in the meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we welcome you here, sir. Gaurav Patni sir.
Yes. Good evening, ma'am. Good evening,
Yes.
all.
Very good evening to you, sir. And sir is PGT faculty in Seedling Public School, Jaipur. And he is MCA, MBA, MA, and MCOM, double MCOM, basically EAFM and business development too, PGDCA. And he is having a rich experience of 14 years as PGT. And he is teaching information practices and information technology. Sir, we heartily welcome you on the PAAI Association on this PAAI Ki Sansad. So we all welcome you here, sir. So please share your views on the today's topic.
Good evening, all of you. As sir and ma'am already explained a lot of things, some of my points are already covered over here, and I'm thankful that I have given this platform. Now, some things which are not covered, I think partially covered, those all I'm going to include over here. Just a minute, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. The main thing is this, that we all are saying for Indian education system. Yes, we are saying, but some are saying for students also. Students are also the part of the system. Teachers are also part of the system. The main thing is this, that until unless we are not making them in a proper chain, we are not in a proper channel. First of all, I worked with a lot of research papers and some major challenges which I have noticed. First of all, government is making plan for education system, but they are not implemented due to some reasons. I want to make a focus over there, and due to those major reasons, some private sector institutions are taking advantage. Government is saying that 60 hours training is essential for each and every teacher in a year. Yes, it is essential. Are our government teachers are not the part of that? Are they attending those sessions? Are they are able to teach in the class, or they are forced to go for various government duties? in the COVID time, the private schools were teaching online, while the government teachers were teaching online. How we can force them to give the 100% result if they were unable to teach them online? Some major factors are there, which I'm going to cover up here. First one is lack of money. Yes, a person who is working on a daily basis cannot afford a lot of money for the child education. And in COVID time, they were facing this issue, and due to this, some of the students were dropped out. They were not continuing the studies, and yet they are unable to continue their studies. By that time, the private institutions go ahead with their costly education system, and those who are able to give that money, they were able to go with the concept, the topic, and the education. A lot of things are going on due to which the Indian education system is neglecting the regional languages, which was included in NEP. If a person in North India is not studying that language which is of that particular area, then government is saying for bona fide. Yes, government is saying bona fide, the person must be of that area, but the person is not understanding that thing, how that person can work in the job or profession for that area. Regional languages must be included. No practical knowledge. The person who is studying is learning only the current topics which are running in the market right now. After 3 or 5 years, and the person is going to the society, the knowledge which is there with the person is obsolete. Just sir also explained this thing, that the topic which we have studied in our curriculum are obsolete. So we have to rethink for this and rebuild the curriculum. Brain drain. If the person is not getting the job as per the caliber, the person may switch to another country for the better chance, better opportunity. And due to this reason, every year we are losing a lot of intelligent, expert people from our country, which are not coming back to country to serve the country. So we have to rethink for this. Then some paid seats are there, due to which the genuine person may or may not be able to get that seat if the person is not having that much amount. Some states are giving proper response for the literacy, some are not. Due to this, the mass literacy concept is not 100% achievable. A lot of people are yet not able to study, and it's majorly in the village area. Wastage of resources, yes. The students of a specific age group, if they are not taught in the proper way, they are not having interest in the education system and they leave it. They are drop out, or their interest towards the studies is over. They don't want to study further, and we are not getting the talented, skillful people in future. Then we are having general education structure. The topic, maybe the person who is in class 8th to 10th is studying MS Office or Open Office. That thing is there in the book is not for the industry requirement. The system needs to implement the new updated requirement of the society. Primary education problem, the person who is studying in the initial classes, if that person is not able to cope up with that, the person will not continue the topic, the studies, and that's a big loss, because that may not maybe one or two people, one or two student, that may be a mass which is leaving the concept. outdated syllabus. We have already discussed this thing. Then the major challenges, as per the report of 2018 annual state and education report, which is again generated by some organization, we are having the high dropout rate, maybe due to family reason, maybe due to not getting the proper interest in the topic, maybe due to the financial reasons, maybe due to the distance from the home to school, maybe some other personal reasons, cultural reasons, the students are leaving the educational schools and colleges. The person studied school is not going to college some places, and they are not even graduate, and they will not be able to cope up with the current scenario which is going on in the market. Poor governance and lack of responsibility. If a student is not coming to school, we are making one or two calls to that student that why you are not coming, and we leave it by writing it in the register that these much calls were made and the child is not interested in coming to school. When the parent and child came to school, it means they were interested initially. Why not we went to the home and see what scenario, what conditions there, why the child is not interested, what was the major reason why the child don't want to continue the topic, whereas earlier he was interested in joining the studies. Lack of infrastructure. A lot of government schools are not getting the funds from government for various facilities, but yet a lot of schools are not getting those facilities. Mainly it is there in the rural area. Quality of teachers. If we are uh, we must not say that thing, but it is fact that if in case a person is working in an organization and person is giving his 100%, that's okay. If the person is not giving his 100%, or due to any reason that person is appointing some part-timers are running here and there and resulting to it because they have to rush to another location, the quality of education may be affected. So we have to rethink for this thing also. The load, the timing, the duration of their classes and other things must be reevaluated to improve it. Then closure of school, a lot of schools are closed, a lot of schools are merged with another schools, and due to this the distance from home to school is changed. The student is not interested in going to that place, and due to this reason a lot of private schools are getting the admission, and somewhere the private schools are also losing admission, and those students are not continuing their studies. Government started right to education. The admissions are given to them as per the Supreme Court orders and other things. But I studied the news in the newspaper that in Delhi, a lot of students which were given the admission under RTE are given the notice to pay the fees as government is not paying the fees. Isn't it a bad thing for those parents to face their students that they are not able to pay the fees, so the school is not allowing them? Government has to rethink on this thing also, that these type of messages are not going to students mind. In the end, I must.
गौरव सर थोड़ा सा जल्दी करना पड़ेगा
Yes, sir, it is the
क्योंकि
last
हमारे पास
slide.
टाइम कम है अभी
Yes, sir.
मैं अभी जी सर प्लीज थैंक यू
Yes, sir. So the education system curriculum is updated. Teachers are getting updated in COVID time. Every teacher is IT savvy. The funds, the various facilities are improving. A lot of things are improving. Minor more from the government side will make it a more beneficial thing, and further a big support to them for good education. I think I'm not.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you
ma'am.
so much, Gaurav, sir. And you rightly said, sir. I think education breeds confidence, and confidence breeds hope, and hope breeds future. So you rightly said, sir, that if the base of education is not strong, future is going to be a big question mark. So we need to go extra yard and walk extra mile to ensure the correct future. These education systems to be corrected very soon. Thank you so much, sir, for your views, and we are highly beneficial. We got a lot of good knowledge after seeing your presentation and your views, sir. And now we are just calling upon the next panelist. So I think Preeti ma'am is not here, and I have to just speak out about the next
Actually,
panelist.
Poonam Gothi ma'am is there, ma'am. Poonam
Okay.
Gothi ma'am is there.
Okay. Yes, Poonam ma'am, we heartily welcome you here on this forum. Yes, please. Yes, ma'am. So we have limited time and we are running short of time. So, ma'am, please share your views so that we can be beneficial. And just a small introduction of Poonam ma'am. Having a 14-year teaching experience as a primary teacher and 2 years working experience in Chitra Public School, Kanpur as a coordinator, 2 years working experience in again the Kanpur Chitra School as a school in charge, and now she is a principal in Chitra Group of Institution. So we welcome you here, ma'am. So we request you to share your views on this topic, ma'am. And kindly unmute yourself. Some disturbance is there.
Poonam ma'am, your voice is not clear. Kindly rejoin. Poonam ma'am, your voice is not clear. Kindly rejoin. Poonam Gothi ma'am.
Poonam ma'am.
Poonam Gothi ma'am, your voice is not clear. Kindly rejoin. Poonam ma'am, am I audible to you?
Poonam ma'am. Okay, she's. Ma'am, your voice is not there. Please check your audio. I think there's some disturbance. Ma'am, we are not able to hear you, ma'am.
Ma'am, please rejoin. Poonam ma'am, please leave and rejoin.
Meanwhile, we'll take another panelist. So I think Brijesh sir, are you here? Brijesh Kumar Pathak sir. हर्षवर्धन सर, ब्रजेश सर यहाँ पर हैं?
हाँ, हम पूनम गोथी मैम का 2 मिनट वेट कर लेते हैं.
राइट सर.
वो रिज्वाइन करते हैं, उसका कंक्लूजन करते हैं.
सो आई थिंक जब तक पूनम मैम ज्वाइन करती हैं हमें, हम जो भी आज का भी डिस्कशन चल रहा था.
यस मैम.
कोई नेटवर्क इशू है शायद पूनम मैम.
Yes, ma'am. Now I am audible.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely fine, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, my screen is visible. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's
My
visible.
screen is visible.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Your
It's
screen is
visible.
visible.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. सर, शिक्षा का वास्तविक अर्थ है व्यक्ति का सर्वांगीण विकास करना, जिसके माध्यम से व्यक्ति में एक संपूर्ण व्यक्तित्व का विकास हो सके। शिक्षा मात्र किताबी ज्ञान तक सीमित नहीं है, बल्कि यदि इसको वास्तव में देखा जाए तो ये हमें हमारे मूल्यों से परिचित कराता है। शिक्षा हमारे अज्ञान को दूर कर अहंकार को नष्ट करता है, हमें काम, क्रोध, मोह, लोभ को नियंत्रित करने की प्रेरणा देता है। सबसे पहले हम अपने गुरु को याद करेंगे। नमः शांताय दिव्याय सत्य धर्म स्वरूपेण स्वानंदामृत तृप्ताय श्रीधराय नमो नमः। आज का विषय है कि भारतीय शिक्षा नीति में छात्र फेल हुए हैं या सिस्टम। मैं यहाँ पर सिस्टम की बात करूंगी, क्योंकि भारतीय शिक्षा को समझने के लिए हमें प्राचीन गुरुकुल प्रणाली को समझना होगा। हम तब की बात करेंगे जब हमारे देश में वर्ण व्यवस्था थी और उस व्यवस्था में कर्म को महत्व दिया जाता था। इस व्यवस्था के द्वारा समाज को सुचारू रूप से चलाने के लिए आश्रम की व्यवस्था थी, जिसमें 4 आश्रमों का वर्णन हमारी स्मृतियों में मिलता है, जिसमें 4 आश्रम ब्रह्मचर्य, गृहस्थ, वानप्रस्थ और संन्यास थे। ब्रह्मचर्य आश्रम जीवन का वो काल था जिसमें छात्र अपने परिवार से दूर गुरुकुल में रहकर अपने जीवन के चौमुखी विकास पर ध्यान केंद्रित करता था तथा अनुशासित जीवन व्यतीत करने का वो ज्ञान प्राप्त करता था। इस समय का वर्ष 25 वर्षों का माना गया था, जिसमें छात्र जीवन में उसे जो बनना है, उसे जो हासिल करना, उसका संपूर्ण ज्ञान लेकर अर्जित करता था, उसे उसकी क्षमता के आधार पर शिक्षा प्रदान की जाती थी। धीरे धीरे भारत पे विदेशी आक्रमणकारियों का तथा मुगल शासकों का शासन हुआ और हमारी गुरुकुल शिक्षा प्रणाली जो है वो विद्यालयों में परिवर्तित हो गई और विदेशी आक्रमण से भारतीय शिक्षा जो उच्च स्तर पर थी, जिसमें सबसे महत्वपूर्ण नालंदा विश्वविद्यालय, जैसा कि हम सभी जानते हैं, उनका स्थान था, क्योंकि यहाँ पे शिक्षा को सर्वाधिक महत्वपूर्ण और विशेष महत्व दिया जाता था, जिसमें कि 10,000 छात्रों पे 2,000 शिक्षक थे। भारत में ब्रिटिश शासन काल के दौरान जो शिक्षा नीति आई थी वह मात्र इंग्लिश पर जोर देने की थी। भारतीय स्वतंत्रता प्राप्ति के बाद भारतीय शिक्षा में सुधार के उद्देश्य से राधा कृष्णन आयोग का गठन 1948 में किया गया। इस आयोग के अध्यक्ष श्री सर्वपल्ली राधाकृष्णन जी थे। राधाकृष्णन जी ने विश्वविद्यालय शिक्षा को मुख्य बिंदुओं पर स्पष्ट किया था। उनका जो मुख्य बिंदु था शिक्षा का लक्ष्य लोकतंत्र के लिए प्रशिक्षित करना, आत्मविश्वास को जागृत करना, वर्तमान के साथ अतीत को समझ विकसित करना तथा व्यावसायिक व पेशेवर प्रशिक्षण को देना, ज्ञान के विकास द्वारा जीने की सहज क्षमता को जगाना तथा अपनी सांस्कृतिक विरासत को छात्रों से परिचित कराना। इसके साथ ही शिक्षा संकाय को 4 श्रेणियों में भी उन्होंने बांटा था। शिक्षण के स्तर के लिए भी उन्होंने विचार दिए थे, साथ ही व्यावसायिक शिक्षा पर भी जोर दिया था। शिक्षक की शिक्षा, कृषि की शिक्षा, वाणिज्य की, तकनीकी की, चिकित्सा की और कानून की शिक्षा पे उन्होंने जोर दिया था। इसके पश्चात कोठारी आयोग का गठन 1964 में हुआ। इस आयोग का मुख्य उद्देश्य तत्कालीन शिक्षा को समझना और उसकी समीक्षा करना था। भारत की मुख्य विडंबना यह है कि यहाँ की शिक्षा के सुधार का कोई भी कार्य उन सालों में नहीं हुआ जबकि भारत एक विकासशील देश के श्रेणी के शुरुआती दौर में था। शिक्षा स्तर पर भारत में दिन प्रतिदिन गिरता ही गया और हम फॉलोवर बन के रह गए, ना कि विश्व गुरु। यहाँ उस व्यक्ति को शिक्षित माना जाने लगा जो कि अंग्रेजी बोलने में पारंगत हासिल कर लेता था। धीरे धीरे हम अपनी संस्कृति, संस्कार और अपने मुख्य उद्देश्य से भटक गए। क्योंकि हमने नंबरों को महत्व देना शुरू कर दिया और व्यक्ति के ज्ञान का आकलन मात्र प्रतिशत के रूप में कर किया और उसके संपूर्ण विकास के स्थान पर हम मात्र कुछ विषयों तक सीमित होकर एक किताबी कीड़े के रूप में विकसित हो गए। हमारी सबसे बड़ी विडंबना यह भी है कि एक कृषि प्रधान देश है हमारा, एक कृषि प्रधान देश होने के बाद भी हमारी शिक्षा में कृषि को उतना महत्वपूर्ण स्थान नहीं दिया गया जितना कि अन्य विषयों को दिया गया। हमने नीति तो बनाई पर उसको पूर्ण रूपेण लागू करने के लिए हमने शिक्षकों को नहीं ट्रेंड किया। जब शिक्षकों को ही पूर्ण ज्ञान नहीं होगा तो वह छात्रों का सर्वांगीण विकास नहीं कर सकेंगे, जिससे हमारी जो परंपरा गुरु को ब्रह्मा मानने की थी समाप्त हो गई और छात्र स्वयं को गुरु से श्रेष्ठ मानने लग गए। आज की शिक्षा के आधार पर हम प्रत्येक साल ऐसे मटेरियल निर्मित कर रहे हैं जिसका उद्देश्य धन अर्जित करना है, ना कि समाज का विकास करना है। आज हम किसी भी छात्र का मनोवैज्ञानिक टेस्ट ले तो वह यही उत्तर देता है कि मुझे तो जल्द से जल्द वो डिग्री प्राप्त करना है जो कि हमें तुरंत जॉब दिला सके, क्योंकि आज का बच्चा मनी माइंडेड हो गया है। व्यक्ति विकास विकसित कर रहे हैं, ना कि संपूर्ण रूप से शिक्षित व्यक्ति। जब तक इस नई शिक्षा नीति को पूरी तरह से नहीं समझ पाएंगे हम स्वयं भी भटकेंगे, साथ ही छात्र भी जो है हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए वो भी भटकेंगे। हम मनी मटेरियल व्यक्ति इस्तेमाल का निर्माण कर रहे हैं और हम साल दर साल शिक्षा के सालों को बढ़ाते जा रहे हैं। जैसे बीएड पहले हम 1 साल निकल लेते थे, अब वही शिक्षा हम 2 सालों में प्राप्त कर रहे हैं और साथ ही उच्च शिक्षा प्राप्त तो कर रहे हैं पर उसके साथ उनको वो शिक्षा नहीं दे पा रहे हैं जो कि उनको एक सफल व्यक्ति, एक सफल नागरिक बनाए। मान लीजिए हम एक क्षेत्र की शिक्षा उन्हें दे रहे हैं लेकिन हम उनको वो ज्ञान नहीं दे पा रहे, अगर वो वहां सफल नहीं हो सके तो वो दूसरी जगह भी कामयाब नहीं हो पाते हैं। इसलिए हमें अपनी शिक्षा नीति में समझना होगा और बच्चों के सर्वांगीण विकास के लिए उनको शुरुआती दौर से ही वो शिक्षा प्रदान करनी होगी, जिससे कि वो एक छात्र फेल ना हो, वो जीवन में सब कुछ हासिल करे जो वो चाहता है। जो हमारी पुरानी नीति थी उसी आधार पे हमें चलना चाहिए, नए को हमें साथ लेते हुए, नए के साथ हमें पुराने को भी लेकर चलना चाहिए। थैंक यू सो मच सर।
सो मच मैम, और थैंक यू सो मच मैम। आपने बहुत अच्छे से जो अभी तक हम समझ नहीं पा रहे थे वो आपने बहुत अच्छे से समझाया, और जो आज के बच्चे समझते हैं, जो आपने अभी बताया कि एजुकेशन क्वालिफिकेशन इज अ टिकट टू एम्प्लॉयमेंट, वो आपने बिल्कुल सही इस चीज को रखा मैम, कि आज के बच्चे समझते हैं कि एजुकेशन हमें इसलिए चाहिए क्योंकि हमें सिर्फ एम्प्लॉयमेंट चाहिए, हमें जॉब चाहिए, हमें अच्छे पैसे कमाने हैं। आप बिल्कुल सही कह रही है मैम, वो नॉलेज के लिए आज का बच्चा नहीं पढ़ रहा, आज का बच्चा एक अच्छी नौकरी पाने के लिए पढ़ रहा है। और आपने जहाँ बोला कि फॉलोअर्स बनकर रह गए हैं हम, तो बिल्कुल मैम कहीं ये कड़वी सच्चाई है जो हम एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, बट बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने मैम। और जो आपने सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट मैम यहाँ पॉइंट उठाया वो था कृषि प्रधान देश है हमारा, एग्रीकल्चर बेस है हमारा, और एग्रीकल्चर की हमारी एजुकेशन में जगह नहीं बना पा रहे हैं। आज अगर एग्रीकल्चर की बात करें, कृषि की बात करें, तो हमें अपने कैरिकुलम में, अपने सिलेबस में इसको जरूर डालना चाहिए, सो दैट हम लोग को बच्चों को आगे लेके जाएं और बच्चों को समझ आए कि इंडिया में जो बेस है हमारा वो एग्रीकल्चर है। तो मैम आपने बहुत अच्छे से,
थैंक यू मैम। मैं अपने स्कूल में जो भी शिक्षा देती हूँ, आज ही सुबह मैंने रैली निकाली थी पॉलीथीन के ऊपर, मैं आपको शेयर करूंगी उसकी कुछ पिक्चर्स, आपके ग्रुप में शेयर करूंगी
मैम। बिल्कुल पाई एसोसिएशन बहुत अप्लाइज फील करेगा अगर आप हमें शेयर करेंगे इस तरीके की चीजें, तो हम लोग डेफिनेटली उसको आगे फॉलो भी करेंगे और हम अपने स्कूल्स में और अपने बच्चों के लिए उसको अप्लाई भी करेंगे। थैंक यू सो मच मैम। और मेरे ख्याल से आपने पूरे गागर में सागर भरने का पूरा प्रयत्न किया है मैम, और हम आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करते हैं मैम इस चीज के लिए। हम अपने नेक्स्ट पैनलिस्ट को इनवाइट करेंगे। प्रीति मैम, इज एनीवन लेफ्ट हियर? प्रीति मैम।
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Brijesh sir, I think
Yes. So I think it's the opportune time to request Brijesh sir to come forward. Brijesh Kumar Pathak sir. He's a writer, innovation expert, and social entrepreneur. Sir is the principal of Bansras Memorial Sunrise Public School, Shalganj, Jaunpur in UP. And he has been awarded with a lot of honors and award, probably 50 plus he's mentioned. So it's a wonderful thing, sir. And along with that, like he's the member of All India Principal Associations. He has done a lot of research papers and attended a lot of 20 plus seminars and uh, conferences. Sir, it's a privilege for us at PAAI to PRITHAVI PAAI Association to welcome you, and I request you to please take it forward by sharing your views on the topic. Brijesh sir, are you there?
I think ma'am Brijesh sir is not here.
So I think all the panelists have already shared their
Views, I think. So let it be because we have short of time. So
So we
Harshvardhan
request
sir,
Harshvardhan sir, is he there with us to share his views? Because as per my thoughts, I think I was really happy to hear Poonam ma'am because she touched what we have in our hearts and minds. So we real appreciation to you, Poonam ma'am.
yes,
So others
and
also, everyone spoke really well. Harshvardhan sir, please take it forward.
with ever smiling face, Harshvardhan sir is there with us.
Thank you so much,
हंसता हुआ
ma'am.
चेहरा
And
दिल जीत लेता है और हर्षवर्धन सर हमारा हमेशा दिल जीतते हैं. So we welcome you, Harshvardhan sir here.
अरे मैम, ऐसा ऐसा होता तो मैं पहले पूरा का पूरा वर्ल्ड यहीं पे लाके पाई के उसमें लाके रखता. Thank you so much all the eminent respected eminent keynote speakers के आज उन्होंने अपने जो टॉपिक था उसको कहीं ना कहीं जस्टिफाई किया है और अपने अपने व्यूज उन्होंने इस चीज के ऊपर रखे हैं, तो उनके लिए थैंक यू सो मच. बट आज मैं थोड़ा सा ऑन द वे हूँ. पिछले 2 ऐसे हमारे वेबिनार ये पाई की संसद सेकंड टाइम ये हो रहा है कि मैं अपने व्यूज थोड़ा सा रख नहीं पा रहा हूँ, लेकिन फिर भी इतना जरूर कहना चाहूंगा कि जिस सिस्टम और जिस स्टूडेंट की हम बात कर रहे हैं, अगर मैं ये कहूँ कि टाइम कभी बुरा नहीं होता, बुरा उसको बनाने वाले होते हैं, उसको यूज करने वाले होते हैं. ठीक उसी तरीके से सिस्टम कोई बुरा नहीं है. सिस्टम में सारे किसी में हम लोग बहुत ज्यादा कमियां या बहुत ज्यादा अच्छाइयां नहीं ढूंढ सकते, क्योंकि सिस्टम सिर्फ और सिर्फ किसी भी चीज को चलाने का एक ढंग है, ढांचा है, उसका अस्थि पिंजर है. अब हम अपने अस्थि पिंजर के ऊपर चाहे तो उसको जो है अपना एक्सरसाइज करके उसको जो है सुडौल, हेल्दी, हष्ट पुष्ट बना सकते हैं, और चाहे तो उसको खा खा करके बेडोल बना सकते हैं. ठीक वही चीज जो है हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम के साथ, जहाँ पर अच्छे लोग हैं, अच्छे एडुकेटर्स हैं, वो उस एजुकेशन सेक्टर को अच्छा बनाएंगे, और जो हम बार बार बोलते हैं जिसको कि टाइम पास के लिए जो आए हैं वो सिर्फ टाइम पास करेंगे. खैर, मैं इसके ऊपर मैं चाहूंगा कि अगला जो हमारा ट्यूसडे को वेबिनार है, मैं कई दिनों से सोच रहा था कि क्यों ना एक ऐसा वेबिनार इस बार किया जाए जिसमें मैं खुद कीनोट स्पीकर बनूं. तो मेरा मन कर रहा है कि इस बार मैं ट्यूसडे का जो हमारा वेबिनार होगा उसमें मैं कीनोट स्पीकर बन के आऊं, और आप सभी जो हमारे पाई के ऐसे मेंबर्स हैं जो हमें सुनते हैं और रेगुलर हमारे वेबिनार अटेंड करते हैं, उनके साथ में मैं अपने व्यूज रखूं. अगर पूरी पाई फैमिली की अगर इस चीज में परमिशन होगी तो मैं ट्यूसडे के दिन मैं बनना चाहूंगा.
सर हम ऑनर फील करेंगे. आपको सुनना हमेशा हर किसी का दिल से इच्छा रहती है. तो सर अगर आप हमें हमें कुछ अच्छा बताएंगे तो हमारे लिए तो ऑनर होगा सर. वी मोस्ट वेलकम यू.
थैंक यू सो मच मैम. आज के लिए इतना ही. मेरा मीनाक्षी मैम से रिक्वेस्ट है कि मीनाक्षी मैम, आपके लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी रहेगी कि आज मैं फीडबैक फॉर्म नहीं शेयर कर पाऊंगा, तो आप सभी रिस्पेक्टेड जो पाई के मेंबर्स हैं जिन्होंने ज्वाइन किया है आज इस पाई की संसद को, वो प्लीज अपना नेम और अपनी ईमेल आईडी इसमें चैट बॉक्स में शेयर कर दें, और मीनाक्षी मैम उसको कॉपी पेस्ट कर लेंगे ताकि बाद में सभी के सर्टिफिकेट्स हम लोग शेयर कर पाए। तो आप सभी से रिक्वेस्ट है कि अपना नेम और अपनी ईमेल आईडी चैट बॉक्स में शेयर करें। थैंक यू सो मच।
जब तक सब लोग शेयर करते हैं, मैं इसको कंक्लूड कर देती हूँ थैंक यू नोट के साथ. So we at PAAI की सांसद are extremely obliged and honored to listen to each and every eminent speaker. We are thankful to each one of you, and we are very thankful to listen all the views. I feel the purpose of education is to replace an empty mind with open one. The same is possible when education system is updated. So thank you so much for each one of you. So आप प्लीज अपना ईमेल आईडी और अपना नाम यहाँ शेयर कर दें, so that हम लोग आपको सर्टिफिकेट्स इशू कर सकें.
Thank you, Archana ma'am. Thank you, Preeti Chitkara ma'am and Dr. Harshvardhan Singh sir and the entire team of PAAI, as well as all the participants and co-speakers. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and we
We
are
will
highly
extend our thanks to all the speakers who have joined us today. So, Gaurav sir, Srinjani ma'am, Poonam ma'am, everybody, the ones who joined us.
Thank you, ma'am.
As audience, as well as the speakers, we extend our own thanks.
I think everybody has written their name and their email ID. So we once again thank you each one of you for today's healthy discussion. Yes, Preeti ma'am. Should we leave the meeting? Harshvardhan sir? I think he's not here.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, Archana ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Neeraj sir.
Yes, ma'am.
So, ma'am, I think everyone has written their name and email ID on the chat box. So, should we leave the meeting now?